good, everyone? This is the Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network, coming at you live from our studio here in Ogden, Utah. As always, I'm Brandon. Joined with me, Dallas and Cody, and we're going over the movie I've been pronouncing incorrectly all the last podcast. We're going over Shang-Chi. Would anyone like to take an attempt and pronounce it like the true Chinese?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi? Oh, I've been practicing.
Sean.
Yeah.
Well, let's go Sean. I'm calling him Sean the rest of the podcast.
I'm down. I'm okay with that. The full, first third of the movie, I thought she was just saying Shang, but, her American accent just, screwed it up or something.
Nah, dude, on his belay badge.
Did it say Sean?
It says Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at it.
That part was funny in the movie. She's like, so you wanted to go in hiding and you changed your name from Sean to Sean. I was like, yeah, that's pretty
No, that's a good. Yeah. See, that's why I was all until they said that, I was like, oh, there's no way he just changed his name to Sean. This is just gross American mispronunciation, is all it is, right?
No, he just, wasn't the smartest 14-year-old out there.
No, and that's okay. How excited were you guys for this movie before watching it?
I was not very excited.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I think I said a 6, didn't I?
You did say a 6, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably, I would have put 5.
Yeah.
Hype level.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it going into it, so as far as reading comics,
as far as source material,
I didn't know much about it, so
me neither. So Shang-Chi in the comics is off his comic book series. It's just the Master of Kung Fu is what it is. I hardly know anything about it, but I have a buddy who's an expert, and he posted a ton of stuff about it, and that's all I knew is what he's been posting about it. So this was fairly new.
Maybe you should send that our way.
I mean,
why are you being selfish and just holding it?
I'll just screenshot it and send it to you.
So selfish,
I guess. So I saw it in the premiere.
So you had a little bit of knowledge.
Dude, I'm not even going to call it knowledge. I just Facebook post of
more than us, though.
More than us, yes.
I mean, not anything that's going to change my view of the movie, right?
How excited were you?
Dude, I'm excited for any Marvel movie.
That's true.
Right, but what I was most excited for is this looked like a classic Chinese kung fu movie. Mm-hmm. The cheesier the better for me. Right,
it didn't disappoint.
If you're going in with that mindset,
mm-hmm.
which I did, I was like, all right, cheesier, the more. I'm not being racist, but more stereotypical, Asian-y type filming. I'm all for that, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree?
Yeah. No, yeah.
If you have that mindset going in, you will not be disappointed.
No, you'll be blown away.
You'll be very happy.
That's pretty much what I was expecting, just from the previews and everything. But with limited knowledge, I was like, all right, this is gonna be Marvel's version of a kung fu movie. I'm in.
It looked like a '90s Jackie Chan or an Ip Man with. Oh, what's his name? Gosh dang it.
Jet Li?
No, not Jet Li. The blind ninja guy from Rogue One. Mm-hmm. You guys know what I'm talking about? His movies are so good, man.
I don't know
so good. Anyways, let's get into scores because I want to talk a lot about it.
Let's go.
All right.
Let me
Dallas goes first. Everybody knows the rules.
Dallas always goes first. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an 8. Solid 8 out of
8.
10.
Wow.
Yeah. That is higher scores.
That's
higher than I thought you were going to do.
I honestly, right up until that moment, that was higher than I was going to do.
Just barely.
And then the more I thought about it, just sitting here, I was like, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a good Friday night.
You know what? Now we're going to get it even higher because scores aren't solidified.
Scores aren't solidified till the end.
Till the end of the podcast.
Maybe they'll go down.
All right. Cody, what about you?
I really enjoyed this movie. That being said, you know me.
Here we go. 5.9.
No, not 5.9. There's some things that were a little bit, some pacing slow moments and anything. The climax, which we'll get to. Was disappointing to me. I'll just put that there. But all in all, I'll give it a 7.
All right, I'll take it. Nice.
I'm waiting for the solid 10 to come out from Brandon.
Oh, that's exactly it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's no way.
No. I'm going to go a 9.1.
9.1?
9.1,
okay.
Yeah. And the only bad thing I could say about this is, again, the climax, the end. It's just way too much. We'll call it an 8.
Yeah.
I say that's fair. Yeah, let's call it an 8, right? 8 and then maybe a little, right?
8.0333.
Look, it's this movie was a 10 up until like the end, and then I was like, all right, that drops it a whole point. But then I was like, as I thought about it, I'm like, man, it's not a 9, but it's not anything above it. So my typical way of cheating out of these things is usually dropping it by like 0.1 or going 0.1 above, right? So 9.1. And I feel confident in that because I saw it Thursday, so I've had like 5 days to like think on this score, and I think that's a fair score for me.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Well, I just barely saw it, so like an hour ago.
okay, so fresh in your head.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is the action scenes. This fighting and choreography is some of the best I've ever seen.
I think we did our fight list a little too early.
Yes, and our fight list hasn't been published, only our live listeners.
That's right.
So I'm thinking we redo it after Spider-Man No Way Home, and maybe we have a better sense for the top 10 fight scenes.
Do it.
That bus scene might be my top 5.
I was going to say the bus scene.
The bus scene is so good.
Oh, actually, the bus scene and then the fight with they call him the death dealer. It's just the masked guy in like the construction building and wherever they're. Those two probably would have cracked my top 10, honestly, but definitely the bus scene, man.
Yeah.
That first bus scene is wild from start to finish.
I was like, okay, here we go.
It's not just like cool fighting, it's like stunts too, like hanging off the side and kicking in and whatnot. Gives you a little bit of everything.
The dude has a machete for an arm, all right?
Yeah.
This dude beat the crap out of Creed and freaking Creed 2. Yeah, that's how dangerous. And now you give him a machete for a hand? I mean, come on. I don't know, that's all I could see the whole time. What, Drago's son?
He doesn't talk much in movies, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just there to look big and intimidating.
He does well. He does well on that.
But we skipped all the way to the bus scene. The other scene I wanted to talk about is when the parents fight for the first time. Oh, dude, I was like, inject that into my veins, man. I'm digging that.
That was very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, man. And that's what I wanted.
Which I enjoyed very much, obviously, when I was younger. Of course. So
when she's like floating around and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh. And like the low camera angles, like pointing up, I'm like, God, give me all of it, please. Give me more. May I have another, sir? Or whatever. Thank you, sir. May I have another? But
and you're like, oh, they're falling in love while they're fighting. This is fantastic. That's how I want all love scenes to go on from now on.
Yeah, from now on ever.
Fighting love scenes?
Yeah, just fight and then fall in love. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, that's almost like a Star-Lord in Gamora, right? When he puts the headphones on, it's like, I'm not going to fall for your pelvic sorcery or whatever she says. No, but I agree. And look, maybe skipping a little, his dad, played by, I don't know how to say his last name, Tony Lung or whatever. This is his first Hollywood movie. He has not been in an American movie yet. It's always been Hong Kong and Chinese related films. So this is like his first.
He did well.
Oh,
very well.
I'm going to say a hot take. This is a top 5 Marvel villain for the most part. Maybe origin villain's not like long lasting.
That's not hard to beat.
No, that's not hard to beat. Maybe top 3, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's not many villains out there, so.
Well, they gave him a full backstory too, which helps. You know what I mean?
Is rare.
It's and he's actually a powerful villain. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Marvel's been kind of, and we're gonna get into that. But they've been kind of not as good with their villains in some of their movies, and for this origin story, that's a pretty good. The whole Chinese background and everything. Did you guys like it? That it was like you had to read the subtitles for the first 10 minutes?
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was fine with it, but I know some people do get annoyed by those type of things.
Subtitles.
Okay, learn to read. Like, if you have a problem, like, come on, you can't.
I don't go to the movies to read. I go to the movies to watch.
Yeah, no, subtitles all the way. Look, man, this is the big standout of the movie for me is the villain. Here's a man who literally, they say he had like the entire world, right? Like his empire was secretly, he had the entire, and he gives it all up for his wife, his family, and whatnot. And this is a trope we've seen before, but they do it, just as well in this movie as they do anything others in any other. You lose the thing that took you out of that empire, right? You're going to be sucked back in, right? You're going to ignore your kids, you're going to abuse them or whatever, right? And you're going to do whatever you can to get that life back, right? You gave it up once, you could give it up again, right? So that's what he's looking for. That's a powerful motivation. That's what I'm looking for in my Marvel villains, man.
Very John Wick.
Very.
Right when you were saying that, I'm like, wow, that sounds a lot like John Wick.
I wasn't even thinking
I
John
know,
Wick.
neither was I until
guess.
you just started saying it.
So, the biggest compliment and the thing that's boosted my score the most is this villain, because he does get redeemed. So I'm going to do air quotes on villain.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my favorite part was the main character, Sean. I think he did a great job. Very relatable for some odd reason. You know, like he pulled off of being relatable and a super
and frighteningly strong.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Protagonist all at the same time. So kudos to him. I just wanted to throw that out. He did a really good job and
fantastic.
Wanted to cheer for him. And his friend was hilarious. Katie.
Yeah.
Katie, yeah.
Simu Liu has been wanting to play Shang-Chi for years. Like 6 or 7 years ago, he tweeted at Kevin Feige to let him play it. Mm-hmm. And they've just been waiting for years. And he's been prepping. And I think he's known about it for quite a while that he would get the part. So it shows, right? Yeah. Like he's clearly had years to prepare for this. I think it's all paid off.
I personally like the way that, yes, they make him super relatable at first. Mm-hmm. He's just, kind of seems like a normal guy, obviously in shape. You get the nice shirtless scene right away.
Love it.
Good for him.
Good for him, yeah.
And, but you don't think he's going to be some bad A who can just kick anyone's butt. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you have the bus scene, and you don't have, because the worst thing now is to redo the same thing over and over again. You don't get he was kind of okay, he was just an average dude, big montage of him just fighting all the time. No, you get this whole backstory of him as a kid literally training to be an assassin, and that's why he can do all this. So it feels like it comes out of nowhere to this relatable character, but then they use that plane ride also very well to show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How he has turned into this guy.
The non-linear storytelling is incredible, and I'm going to say a hot take. Not a hot take for us, but maybe some listeners. This is what Black Panther should have been done as. I feel like Black Panther failed in its pacing and storytelling like that, and I think this should have been the outline for Black Panther, because I think this way of the back and forth storytelling and the characters developing, and you're seeing why they are who they are kind of as you're going on, the past events that have made them to what they are now. That's what Black Panther should have done, I feel like. And not just with T'Challa, but probably like Killmonger and stuff is really what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I really fill it out. Yeah, there wasn't much depth in Black Panther for me.
No, but there's depth here, right?
Oh, for sure.
And not just depth in one or two characters.
All the characters, it feels like.
4 off the top of my head. 5 if you want to count Katie, right? I'm thinking, obviously, the family, brother, dad, mother, brother, sister, right? All have this deep character arc, but Katie finds herself in this too.
Yeah.
Trevor finds himself in. I might agree with you on that. I might agree with you on that.
I don't want to get into the negative right now. For me,
you may be able to sway me on this Trevor thing.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Dallas, what do you feel? Does it bother you?
I'm drawing a blank on who.
Trevor
Ben
Kingsley,
the fake Mandarin.
Oh yeah. He was so forgettable and everything. I just kind of was like, just put him. That might have just dropped my score actually, because that was bad. That was bad.
Thank you. It was terrible.
And you know what sucks is I knew it was coming. Disney Plus released a little short on him.
I saw that.
And I didn't watch it.
Either.
No, and I saw it. I was like, oh, that means he's gonna be. And then I'm like, it could go one of two ways, right? They might be able to maybe redeem him a little, but when I saw him, I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, here we go. Now,
what a waste of Ben Kingsley.
Our next episode is talking about things we dislike.
And he's on that list.
Yeah, there may be some foreshadowing. Right.
No foreshadowing. I'm telling you outright, he's on that list.
But look, it's pretty forgettable. What am I trying to say? Someone said forgetful. Forgettable. Sorry, geez. For me, like.
I literally forgot him.
I hardly feel his presence in the movie.
It threw me off. I was very disappointed. Like, he came out and he's doing this whole Trevor thing. Trevor thing. And I was just like, oh no. And it was just, it felt shoehorned in and forced.
It did feel forced.
They were supposed to be locked away in this dungeon, and all of a sudden it's like this whole back room that they go to, and then there's Ben Kingsley talking to an animal with no head and wings. That's not my problem. I like that little animal dude.
No, he was kind of cool.
Yeah, what was his name? Maurice or Morris or
something like that?
I think Morris. I want to say,
which is cool. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Yeah, well, here's a tunnel. I'll reach to the garage."
You remember?
It was a little too.
Well, you remember in Into the Spider-Verse where Peter B. Parker's all like, "Oh, it's a MacGuffin, it's a goober, it's whatever you just need to accomplish a thing." That's what he feels like. He just feels like the MacGuffin to get them from A to B.
They should have chose a different MacGuffin.
I agree. They should have, right? But this is what we're stuck with.
I feel like they owed him more money, and he needed a movie, and they're just like, "Yeah, here you go."
Ben Kingsley came to them.
They're trying to right the wrong they did with Iron Man 3, is what I feel like.
Which they should have just let people forget about that.
Yes. Yeah. Very forget. Exactly, because it reminded me of all the Iron Man 3, and I'm like, oh, I hate Iron Man 3.
Personally, I thought they should have just, like, essentially, if you want to do it a different way, which would have been better, but, like, do it like, oh, well, a part of their mom lives in them. They know their own way home. They know their way back to the...
You could have done it 1,000 different ways.
That would have been so much better.
The universe they've built,
I like that. I'm going with Dallas on that one.
Because I didn't have a problem with the sister.
Say she like heard her mom or something like that?
Not that I remember. Maybe.
Well, you haven't watched it since Thursday. No, she said something along those lines at the beginning of the movie where she could feel, not really hear, but feel her mom's presence.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Okay. But what I'm saying, I didn't have too big of a problem with the sister knowing how to get out of the dungeon because she did say, "How do you think I escaped?"
Yeah. But it was just
the escape.
Wouldn't her dad know that? Like, why would you put her in a room?
None of that bothers me. It's just the Trevor that.
Yeah.
If it was just her saying, "Oh, I'm glad they locked us in this cell because I know exactly how to get out of this one."
Yeah, that's fine too. Dialogue fixes everything.
They could have had Katie and Sean kind of freaking out, and she's like, "Guys, we're good. Don't worry. I know the way out."
Just don't show up after Trevor stops talking nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just curious why they added Trevor, like of all things, right? Like, again, I don't want to talk about it too much because there's better things to be talking about.
More things to rip apart. Sure, I can go to there.
Well, I mean, besides the climax and the soul Death Eaters, what are they called in Harry Potter?
You got the
Dementors, the Death Eaters, the Dementors, right? The MCU Dementors.
I like the forest though. That was cool.
The forest was awesome, and the whole we need to compliment the set design, man. The set design, the costume, the palettes, the colors is all fantastic.
All cinematography is great.
100%. We just need to get that out of the way.
CGI blob at the end.
It is a CGI blob. Yes, I will. I'll give you that. No, and that's going to be the big problem. But until then, what is the place called? Talo or something?
Talo, yeah.
Talo. Love it, man.
Yeah.
Why not expand more into this Oriental legend type thing, right?
I think they will.
And that's what I'm hoping for, right?
I figured they would, because I'm assuming we're going to get a second one of this. I'm hoping for it.
We'll see him again for sure.
They said that at the end of the credits.
Yeah. He will return,
The Ten Rings will return as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the sister takes over.
Yeah, so she evil now, all of a sudden?
I think it's going to be like an anti-hero. You remember, what's her name? Val. Who was why am I drawing names?
Val off of...
No, freaking Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Falcon and the Winter Soldier and then from Black Widow.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be recruited into whatever team she's making.
Like an anti-hero.
Like the Thunderbolts or whatever. It's like the anti-hero, right?
Fair enough.
I think that might be. She's going to be some sort of anti-hero type thing. Because I liked the sister in this, right?
I was fine with her.
I thought she was forgettable.
Forgettable?
Yeah.
It's tough to argue with you.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, there was a sister.
She was okay. That was she didn't
I mean, Katie a lot better.
I was going to say Katie jumped off the screen more than she did.
I agree.
Yeah, even her aunt. But I'm partial to Crouch the Tiger, Hidden Dragon because she's that one too. So, but
no, Aquafina sticks out. A lot of people stick out in this because I think they've
written her real name, Aquafina.
No, that's not her real name. I looked up her real name. I don't know.
I feel like you call her Aquafina. I'm like, what is that?
I know. She's named after a water.
Bottle of water? Okay.
I don't know, but it's spelled like awkward and then Fina.
Oh, awkward Fina.
Yeah, but
that's even worse.
I know. That's not much better, right?
Anyway, sorry to butcher your name, but you did great.
No, she's well written is the thing. I think she's more of a comedic actress, I believe. I've seen her I've only seen her in Crazy Rich Asians and then Ocean's 8. And in both of them, she was like more the comedy type.
Relief kind of.
Which I think is more her strength.
Yeah, I think she did great.
There was a few times where I was kind of like, all right, do we really need another Katie line right here? Yeah. There was a couple of those. But for the most part, I did think she did a really good job. Yeah. And I didn't blame it on her. I was like, did you really need to write in another stupid joke? Yeah. And should we take that into the final scene where
where she's the one who kills the giant, at least stuns him for a second.
Didn't kill him, right? But
I'd be fine if she like distracted him for a second, right? But I don't know. Maybe I learned
how to shoot an arrow 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It's this amazing shot across the neck.
It's a pretty big target, man. I don't know. Like it might be.
I think I could hit that in 2 days.
I think I could have. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, but no one else. They have a million people there who have been.
Like, everyone else is getting taken to Azkaban or whatever it is, right?
Your soul is mine.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Mortal Kombat crossover.
Well, you know what actually popped in my head during this? What? I was like, someone needs to remake Mortal Kombat immediately because this was so much better.
Yes.
They need to do it with this
director
or cinematographer or whatever it is.
Because they literally had, fighters from one world go to another world still. And so much better. And I was like...
That part bothered me. Sorry. No offense.
Yeah.
We need to work together all of a sudden.
I don't know. I'm fine with that.
It was too fast.
Well, no. I kind of like that sudden change, right? But I don't know. The big thing that bothers me is how long it takes to kill the Death Eater or whatever. It just felt like forever. I liked the dragon. I thought the dragon was cool, but then it goes way too far. I think
Where's the dragon come from? What's the dragon mean?
It's the protector, right? It's the great protector, right?
They talked about that one.
Yeah, they build it up enough.
It was okay. No, that whole final scene is way too long. You didn't need the back and forth from the dad so much, or just make it the back and forth between Sean and his dad.
Okay. That's what it should have been. The climax should have been like, I'm fine with like some third villain that's used to redeem his father. That's not what bothers me. It's just the dragging on of these two beasts going at it for like 15 minutes, and then I swear
they went DC with it.
Yeah, they did. Sean was playing like Just Dance on the way down when he's like doing all the different moves or whatever to like take him out. I'm like, all right, dude, are you gonna fall for like 5 minutes here? Is this as long as the runway in F7 or whatever it is, right?
He had the wind beneath his wings. All right. He's floating up there doing his thing.
Do you guys think the 10 rings are too overpowered?
No, I think they were fine.
How would he match up against other Avengers? Do you think he'd kick butt against the other Avengers?
I mean, I'd like to see him against like Thor. That would be
okay.
That'd probably be the ultimate test, right? Because
Thor would kill him.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, you never know.
Are you guys fine with your scores? I haven't been influenced enough, right?
No, I'm fine.
I think it's too short when you know.
Are you guys fine?
I think I'm good.
All right, so we're going to stick with the 8 and worth it all around.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're all green. Hey, this has been Shang-Chi. That's pretty good. I was practicing. All right, thanks for listening. This has been The Common Critic on the Fed by Ravens Media Network.